My name is Lauren Mitchell. I'm 34 years old. 6 months ago, I had everything. A man I'd been with for 9 years. A home that felt permanent. A life that made sense when I woke up in the morning. Now, I have nothing. And the worst part is, I built the ruin myself. If you want to understand how it happened, you can't start with the cheating. You have to start earlier. You have to start with the moment I decided my pain mattered more than hers. His wife, Caroline, was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer 14 months ago. She was 36, healthy, the kind of woman who ran on weekends and drank green smoothies like it was a personality trait. We had just started talking about the future, about building something more permanent, more real, and then everything stopped. Doctor's appointments replaced date nights. Conversations turned into medical terminology. Words like biopsy, mastectomy, chemotherapy started showing up in our lives like uninvited guests that refused to leave. I remember the day she told us. She didn't cry. She just sat there, hands folded in her lap, like she was trying to hold herself together through sheer force of will. "I'm going to fight this," she said. And I should have said something strong, something supportive. Instead, I felt afraid. Not for her, for myself. At first, I told myself it was normal, that watching someone you love face something like that, it breaks something inside you too. And that was true. But what I did with that feeling, that was the part that wasn't. Caroline changed. Of course she did. She became quieter, more distant, focused. Everything in her world narrowed down to one goal: survive. And somehow, I made that about me. I told myself she was pulling away, that I was losing her, that I was being left outside of something I didn't know how to enter. Instead of stepping closer, I stepped back. My friend Derek didn't help. We'd meet for drinks while Caroline was home recovering from treatments, and he'd lean back in his chair like he was handing out wisdom. "You can't lose yourself in someone else's illness," he told me once. "You're allowed to have needs too, Lauren." Needs. That word stuck. It made everything sound reasonable, almost justified. Like what I was feeling wasn't selfish, just human. Miss. I started noticing things differently after that. The silence in the house. The way Caroline didn't laugh at my jokes anymore. The way she fell asleep early, too exhausted to talk. The way intimacy disappeared entirely. And instead of seeing why, I only saw what I was missing. That's when Alexis came into the picture. She worked in Caroline's department. They weren't close, but they knew each other. Enough for Caroline to mention her name casually in conversation. I met her at a company holiday party. Caroline insisted on going, even though she was already exhausted from everything happening. She wanted to feel normal, and for a few hours, she pretended to be. Alex was the opposite of everything Caroline had become in that moment. Bright, effortless, alive. She laughed easily, talked like nothing in the world weighed on her. And she looked at me, really looked at me, like I wasn't disappearing. "Your partner is incredible," he said at one point. "Going through all of this and still showing up, that takes strength." I should have agreed, should have said, "Yes, she's the strongest person I know." Instead, I shrugged. "Yeah, it's been hard on both of us." Even now, I remember the way that sentence felt. How easy it was. How quickly I made her illness about me. Later that night, Alexis slipped her number into my phone. "If you ever need someone to talk to," she said softly. "I get it. My mom went through the same thing." I told myself it was harmless. Just support. Just someone who understood. I texted him 2 days later. At first, it was nothing. Just messages. Venting. I'd tell her how tired I was, how overwhelmed, how distant Caroline had become. And Alexis, she listened. She sympathized. She told me I was doing my best. That I deserved to take care of myself too. Not once. Not a single time. Did she tell me to go home? To be better. To show up. We started meeting for coffee. Then lunch. Then drinks. Each step felt small. Insignificant. Like it didn't really mean anything. Chip. The lies started just as quietly. "I'm working late. Client meeting. Out with Derek." Each one came easier than the last. Like something inside me was loosening. Unraveling. And the strangest part? When I was with Alexis, it felt like my life wasn't falling apart. Like I could pretend none of it was real. Like I wasn't someone watching the woman in my life slowly fight for survival. I could just be someone wanted, someone seen. Looking back now, that's the moment everything changed. Not the kiss, not the affair, not the lies. The moment I chose comfort over loyalty. That was the beginning. And I didn't even realize I'd already crossed the line. The first time I kissed Alex, I didn't hesitate. That's the part that still haunts me. There wasn't a long pause, no internal battle, no moment where I almost stopped and chose to go home instead. There was just a decision, quick, quiet, final. We were sitting in her car after drinks, the windows fogged slightly from the cold outside, the city lights blurring into soft streaks across the glass. She was laughing about something I'd said, and I remember thinking, I haven't heard that sound in my life in months. Not like that. Not light, not easy, not untouched by fear. I leaned in, and she didn't pull away.
Wow.
For a few minutes, everything else disappeared. The hospital, the diagnosis, the version of myself I was supposed to be. It all faded into the background like it didn't exist. And in its place, there was something warm, simple, selfish. That was the moment I became someone else. We didn't talk about it after. Not really. There was no, what does this mean? Or we shouldn't have done that. Just a quiet, unspoken understanding that we would keep going. 3 weeks later, we were in a hotel room. I wish I could tell you I fought it, that I tried to stop, that I thought about Caroline sitting at home, preparing for the fight of her life. But the truth is, I didn't. Not enough. I had sex with another man, while the man I loved was sitting beside his wife, watching her prepare for chemotherapy. And even now, even saying that, it doesn't feel real. It feels like something a worse person would do. Someone I used to believe I could never become. The morning of Caroline's first chemo session, I was supposed to be there. He had asked me the night before, quietly. Can you come with us tomorrow? He said. I think she'd feel better if you were there. I said yes. Of course I said yes. But I didn't go. I woke up tired, drained. The thought of sitting in that room, watching poison drip into her veins, feeling helpless, I couldn't face it. Or maybe I just didn't want to. I have a work thing I can't get out of, I said that morning, already reaching for my keys. Can your mom go with you? He looked at me for a long time. Too long. Like he was trying to understand something he didn't want to see. Yeah, he said finally. My mom can take her. I remember the silence after that. The kind that presses in around you. Heavy. Aware. I'll make it up to you, I added quickly. I promise. I'll be at the next one. Another lie. Instead, I met Alexis for lunch. That became a pattern. Chemo appointments turned into opportunities. Excuses. Alibis. I missed one session. Then another. Then another. Each time I had a reason. Each time I sounded convincing. Each time it got easier. And Caroline, she never said anything. Never asked me to cancel plans. Never told me she needed me there. She just got quieter. Smaller. Like she was folding into herself piece by piece. I told myself she understood. That she knew I was struggling too. That she didn't blame me for needing space. But the truth was, she had stopped expecting anything from me. And I didn't even notice. With Alexis, everything stayed contained. We didn't talk about Caroline. Didn't talk about the future. Didn't ask questions that might force reality into the room. It was a bubble, and I lived inside it like it was safer than the truth. There were signs. So many signs. She never wanted to meet on weekends. Never stayed the night. Never asked where this was going. And every time I tried to bring it up, even casually, she'd smile and brush it away. Why complicate things, she'd say. Let's just enjoy this. Enjoy this. She was sleeping with someone whose partner was watching their wife fight cancer. She knew. She had always known. And I still stayed. Because if I admitted what that made her, I'd have to admit what it made me. So I built a story instead. A version of reality I could live with. I told myself my relationship was already over. That the diagnosis had changed everything. That we were just waiting. Waiting for things to stabilize. Waiting for the right time. Waiting for permission to fall apart. I'll leave when she gets better, I told myself. I'll do it the right way. But I never did. Because as long as I stayed in between, I didn't have to face what I was doing. Caroline finished chemotherapy in July. 4 months of it. 4 months of watching her body change. Watching her lose pieces of herself. Hair, weight, energy. And still keep going. Her scans came back clear. The doctors were optimistic. There was relief. Hope. Something like light at the end of a tunnel we had all been trapped inside. We had dinner with her parents to celebrate. A small gathering. Quiet. Emotional. Caroline looked different. Fragile. But peaceful. We made it, she said softly, reaching across the table. Her hand found mine. Held it. I squeezed back. Smiled. And all I could think about was the message sitting in my pocket. From Alexis. Asking when I was coming over. We did, I said. The guilt started getting louder after that. Harder to ignore. I'd look at her, thin, exhausted, still healing, and something inside me would twist. Tight, sharp. But not enough. Not enough to stop. Not enough to confess. Not enough to become the person she deserved. I thought I was managing it, balancing both worlds, keeping everything separate. I deleted messages, used cash, kept stories straight. I thought I was careful. I thought I was in control. I had no idea. Everything had already fallen apart. I didn't find out Caroline knew. She told me. On the day of her last chemo session, she asked me to come that morning. Her voice was different, quieter than usual, but not weak. Steady. I need you there, she said. It's important. I almost said no. I had plans. Alexis had texted the night before, asking if I could come by. And for a second, I actually considered choosing her again. But something in Caroline's voice made me hesitate, just long enough to change my mind. Okay, I said, I'll be there. That decision didn't save me. It just meant I would be there to watch everything collapse in real time. The oncology center smelled like antiseptic and something faintly metallic. Too clean, too quiet, like a place where people tried to pretend suffering could be controlled. Caroline was already in the chair when I arrived, IV in her arm, the clear liquid dripping slowly into her veins. Her mother sat beside her. Her father stood near the window. Her sister leaned against the wall. All of them looked at me. Not warmly, not even neutrally. Something else, something I couldn't quite name yet. Thank you for coming, Caroline said. Her voice was calm, too calm. Of course, I replied, pulling a chair closer. I'm here. She tilted her head slightly, studying me. Are you? She asked softly. Are you really here, Lauren? Something in my chest tightened. What do you mean? She didn't answer right away. Instead, she reached for her phone, unlocked it, turned the screen toward me. It was a photo. Me and Alexis, sitting across from each other at a restaurant. My hand stretched across the table, holding hers. The room went silent. Or maybe I just stopped hearing anything at all. I've known since the beginning, Caroline said. Her voice didn't shake, didn't crack. My first chemo session, she continued, the one you missed. That. My mouth went dry. I couldn't move. You left your phone at home, she said. Alexis texted you. My mom saw it. Her mother's hand tightened around hers. Yeah. We went through everything, Caroline added. Messages, photos, receipts. 4 months. 4 months of lies. And she had seen all of it. I wanted to confront you, she said. That day, I wanted to scream, throw you out, make you feel even a fraction of what I felt. Bad. Her eyes met mine, and for the first time, I saw it. Not sadness, not even anger. Something colder. Psst. But my lawyer advised me to wait, she said, to document everything. My stomach dropped. So I did. Her father stepped forward, handed me a thick folder. My hands shook as I opened it. Screenshots, texts, photos, hotel receipts, dates, times. A timeline. BM. Every lie I had told, every appointment I had missed, every moment I had chosen Alexis over them. You cheated on me, Carolyn said. Each word landed clean. Precise. You slept with someone I work with while I was fighting for my life. Her mother started crying. Her sister didn't look away from me. Not once. You lied to me every day, Caroline continued. You let me believe we were in this together while you had already left. My voice broke. Caroline, Don't. The word cut through me. I don't want to hear it, she said. I've had 4 months to listen to you lie. Nuns. She reached into her bag, pulled out another set of papers. Divorce documents, already signed, already filed. You're being served today, she said. My vision blurred. I've also filed for full ownership of the house, she added. Marital misconduct. My hands tightened around the papers. Please, can we talk about this? We are talking, she said. And then she glanced around the room. My family is here because I wanted witnesses. Witnesses. To the moment I end this. Her mother pulled out her phone. I've also sent everything to your boss, Caroline said. The words hit harder than anything else. What? You've been using work hours, company resources, lying about meetings, charging personal expenses. My chest felt like it was collapsing inward. My lawyer made sure they received a full report, she added. I couldn't breathe. I've told my family, she continued. Your family will know by the end of the day. Everything was unraveling at once. And Alexis, she said, her voice sharpening slightly, I've reported her to HR. Of course she had. He knowingly engaged in a relationship with someone whose partner had cancer, Caroline said. There are consequences for that. The room tilted. This isn't, I started, but the words fell apart before they could form. This is exactly what it is, she said. And then, for the first time, her voice broke. You destroyed me, she whispered. Tears slid down her face. You destroyed me when I was at my weakest, she said. When I was scared, sick, fighting to stay alive. Her hand trembled slightly in her mother's grip. And you couldn't even show up. I'm sorry, I choked. Caroline, I'm so sorry. Save it. Her voice turned flat again. Final. Save it for your lawyer, she said, because I don't want it. She looked at the nurse.
Yes.
I'm done, she said quietly. I want this out. Soon. There's still 15 minutes, the nurse began. It's her last session, her doctor said gently from the doorway. We can stop early. Jisan. The IV was removed. Caroline stood, slowly, carefully. But when she faced me, there was nothing fragile about her. You need to leave, she said. My throat tightened. Caroline. Now. I didn't move. I've changed the locks, she added. Your things will be in the garage. The finality in her voice. There was no space left in it for me. Leave, she repeated, or I'll call security. I looked around the room. Her father, her mother, her sister. Every face held the same thing. Disgust. I walked out. Not because I chose to, but because there was nothing left for me to stay in. My phone started ringing before I even reached the parking lot. Mom, Dad, my brother, my boss. I didn't answer. I just sat there. Staring at the folder in my lap. 4 months.
Yeah.
She had known for 4 months. Sat through every treatment, every lie, every betrayal, and said nothing. Until now. Until the moment she could destroy me completely. And she did. Perfectly. I lost my job within 48 hours. There wasn't a warning. No second chance. No conversation where I could explain or pretend there was context that made any of it less ugly. I was called into a conference room. My boss sat across from me, HR beside her, a folder on the table. The same kind of folder Caroline had handed me. We've reviewed the materials provided, my boss said. She didn't look at me. Not once. Evidence. Documentation. Timestamps. Company policy violations. You used work hours for personal activity, falsified expense reports, misrepresented client meetings. Each sentence felt clinical, detached, like they were describing someone else. Given the severity and the nature of the circumstances, she paused there, just slightly. The nature of the circumstances. My partner's cancer. You're terminated effective immediately. That was it.
Yeah.
No raised voices, no anger, just finality. I packed my desk into a box. People watched, pretended not to, whispered anyway. I could feel it, the judgment, the understanding. They knew. By the time I reached the parking lot, my reputation was already gone. Alexis was fired the same day. Caroline had sent everything? Texts, screenshots, messages where Alexis joked about it, about Caroline. He's probably asleep anyway, lol. I remembered laughing at that. At the time.
Masum.
Now. It made me feel sick. Alexis called me once. Just once. This is your fault, she snapped the second I answered. I blinked. What? You said she didn't know. You said we were careful. Careful. I almost laughed, but there was nothing funny left in me. Alexis, we both did this, I said quietly. We both knew. No, she cut me off. You're the one who lied. You're the one who cheated. I thought you were separated. She was rewriting it, erasing her part. You knew, I said. You worked with her. You knew she had cancer.
Imam.
Silence. Then, go to hell, Lauren. The line went dead.
Oh.
She blocked me everywhere. Disappeared like she had never existed. Just like that. I destroyed everything. For someone who couldn't even stay for one difficult conversation.
Ed.
My family was worse. I thought, maybe they would still be on my side. I was wrong. My mom called the next day. How could you? No, hello. No hesitation. How could you do that to him? To her? Mom, it's complicated. Complicated? She snapped. She had cancer. The word hit differently coming from her. Sharper, heavier. She could have died, my mom continued, her voice shaking now. And you were out sleeping with someone else? I didn't make her go through it alone. Her family was there, she cut in. Because you weren't. Silence stretched between us. Do you know what that feels like? She whispered. To be abandoned like that? I closed my eyes. I know I messed up. No, she said. Her voice hardened. You didn't mess up. You chose this. Every word landed like something breaking inside me. We raised you better than this, she said. How did we raise someone capable of this? That was the moment it sank in. Not just what I had done, but who I had become. We need space, she said finally. Don't call us. The line went dead. My dad didn't call. He sent a message. I'm disappointed beyond words. Don't contact us until you figure out who you are. My brother was simpler. You're disgusting. And then, nothing. My sister blocked me without a word. I went to my parents' house once. Stood on the porch. Knocked. My dad opened the door, looked at me, and closed it. No words. Just gone. Caroline's family made sure everyone knew. Extended relatives. Friends. People I hadn't spoken to in years suddenly knew exactly who I was. Or who I had been. Group chats went silent, then disappeared. Invitations stopped. People I passed on the street, they recognized me. Not by name, by what I had done. I became a story, a warning. The divorce was quick, brutal. Her lawyer didn't need to try hard. The evidence did everything. She got the house. I got what was left. A car, some boxes, and a studio apartment that smelled like dust and someone else's cigarettes. I applied for jobs. Dozens. A few interviews. All the same ending. We looked you up. That was enough. No one wanted me. Not in that world. So I took whatever I could get. Food delivery. Freelance scraps. Anything that paid enough to keep the lights on. I'm 34 years old. And this is my life now. Alone. Completely. Sometimes I see her. Caroline. From a distance. At a coffee shop once. At a grocery store another time. Her hair has grown back. She looks strong, healthy, alive. She laughs again. Not the way she used to. Better. Like something inside her survived everything I tried to destroy. She looks right through me. Like I'm not there. And maybe I'm not. I tried to reach out once. An email. A long apology. Every word I should have said months ago. She replied with one sentence. I'm not interested in your apology. Don't contact me again. That was it. More than I deserved. I started therapy. At first because I had to. Now, because I don't know how to live with myself without it. My therapist asked me once, do you think you're a bad person? Yes. There was no hesitation.
Yes.
Because good people don't do what I did. Good people don't leave when things get hard. Don't betray someone at their weakest. Don't choose themselves over someone fighting to survive. What do you want now? She asked. I laughed. A hollow sound. I want to go back. But I can't. So this is what's left. The consequences. The silence. The version of my life that exists because of every choice I made. Caroline survived cancer. And I survived becoming someone I don't recognize. That's the real punishment. Not the job, not the apartment, not the loneliness. It's knowing, when it mattered most, I wasn't someone worth staying for. And now, no one does. If you're standing where I once stood, telling yourself it's harmless, that you deserve more, that no one will get hurt. Stop. Because this doesn't end in excitement or freedom. It ends here, with nothing, with no one, with the quiet understanding that you didn't just lose everything. You chose to, and there's no undoing that. This is my life now, and I built every piece of it. From the moment I decided someone else's pain mattered less than my own. Don't make that choice, because once you do, there's no way back. Only this.
Bang.
And it lasts forever.